tea or coffee or anything?
Tea, fine, thank you.
Tea?
Yes, please.
One coffee, one bottle.
No sugar, please. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Let's push it, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Having started in the head.
Shall I give you a praise piece, shall I? This is just on this incident, without something else. I put in for a certificate of lawfulness at Point House at Bishop Thornton. Robert of my father, he must have bought it late 60s. Yeah. Being operated as it was previously a modern mechanics workshop. Took over some of the tooling and compressors and stuff like that, and I did woodworking machinery. Quite big stuff, still got it. And operated then the grounds as a builder's yard, the sheds as workshops. I came along some considerable time when I joined my father. I continued to use it. And then my son came along and joined me, and he continued to use it. So we've been using it for, I say, 30 years, 40 years. We operate digging machines and saw back timber. When we had the pub, we cleaned all the equipment and built the bars there. So when we got to work, the bars were built. Just had to assemble them. Because didn't want any downtime. We just wanted to ride. 2 or 3 days and be running. We didn't have the exercise done. They all done from workshop. We thought we'd put in for a certificate of lawfulness, which is a fairly straightforward job because it's just a legal thing. It's not a planning issue. Whether you did or whether you didn't. We got the necessary affidavits signed by various people that really know of the premises, from Harris County, the local magistrate, and various other people.
What was this certificate?
Certificate of lawfulness B2, which basically you wouldn't want them next to you because it's obnoxious and noisy and dusty. I kept asking the legal department whether they got sufficient, and like a few things were broken down. There's a load more correspondence which I think you've got. Finally, it was changed to B1, which you can use in a domestic area, which isn't offensive to anybody. And they granted B1. Well, I never asked to get it changed to B1 because B1 isn't what we've got. So rather than a full-on up front, I contacted the legal department again and said, I'll supply some more information. I'm going to reapply for B2. Because that saved all the trouble that anybody off the book is any grey area at all. So I applied for B2 again, and it was passed to the trainee legal exec. And with the process of time, that finished up as a B1, and was again granted as B1, which again was what we wanted, what we were entitled to. And I pointed out that because of the machines and the digging machines and the compressors, we really couldn't have one on the housing site. But it went nowhere. So then I started requesting information because Mr. Hurd that lives near me came out and did the survey. And when I studied the plans that he did, they didn't bear any relationship to the photographs he produced. The photographs that he done showed the saws and the machines in the workshop, but the plans didn't show them. So I pointed out that the report was flawed. Thank you very much. That the report was flawed. I also pointed out in the application that the legal department were only considering one of the outbuildings, and not the yard, and not the other 2 outbuildings. And then we went into a diatribe for ages about outbuildings, and losing the plot, really. But basically, it was clearly defined on the map, the area edged in pink, and the buildings contained therein, and the application said outbuildings. So I pointed out that they hadn't looked at the application right, and the report was flawed. Then Mr. Hurd made a visit to the premises while I was in America. I produced the copy of the flight ticket and all the information showing I was in America, showing that the premises was inactive. and there was an untaxed road vehicle parked on the forecourt, and produced a photograph. And besides other things, restore old cars. I point out this is a restoration project, sent me a copy of the tax list of what it was worth because the car was actually taxed. Not that it mattered because it was off the road, but this is how petty it's got. At the end of the day, I produced the finished photograph of the finished vehicle some 12 grand later with the same registration number and still taxed. So whichever way we went, we were knocked back, and I consider wrongly so, and the documents will back up to that. So I started asking for information because I wasn't happy on the way the applications had been handled and the responses from the various people. So I started to use the Freedom of Information Act and was blocked at every turn. I fully appreciate now you can't have a copy of something which doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. But you're entitled to have a copy of something that does exist unless it's against the public interest or some other reason. We tried for ages to view the files, and I came in to test the situation one day, so I spent the night on the internet pulling off other similar applications for B2 certificates of lawfulness. So I listed them then, and amongst those I put my two. I was successful in getting most of the ones that belong to other people. When it got to my two, they were in a locked room at the moment and they weren't available. And in any event, there was a meeting in there. But they would get back to me tomorrow. When I came back tomorrow, there was a copy of an email at the desk basically saying I couldn't have them. And I've got the copy. Alan Gordon Lee managed successfully after some considerable time to get us a meeting to view these files. And we were due to turn up at 2 o'clock on this particular day, as the date was. And we had me, Alan Gordon Lee, and David Luger in the ward councillor. We met up in legal reception, which is unusual because the files should have been viewable like all the rest in reception down below under the new system. So, but I'd like a word with you first, Mr. Luger. If you don't would like to go on in, and Alan Gordon Lee said no, we'll wait until we've had your word with Mr. Luger. These cost me £200 an hour. And at 10 to 3, he became available. Well, I'm nearly £200 down the pound then. And the net result of the basically of the meeting was that Beryl tried to persuade him not to attend the meeting. And you just look back at the email for the exact wording. But the wording was approximately, it wouldn't be in your own interest as a councillor. We attended the meeting. We were told we couldn't use digital cameras. If we wanted any copies of anything, we'd have to tick them with these yellow stickers, and copies would be arranged. I wasn't very happy with this idea because, under the Freedom of Information Act, the council isn't entitled to know for what reason you want the information. But by ticking every page that you needed, it didn't take anybody with half a brain to work out what the plot was. So we ticked the pages, and in particular, there's some copies of leaf copies, land gathered here. I've been sent copies of these, pointing out the use I was entitled to was B1. But the copies on the file were different. They gave all the reasons why it should be B2, and they were asterisked and underlined. So we ticked those, just wanted to see those because we couldn't work out why the copies supplied by the district council was different than those in the file. After a week or so, we got copies of the bits of the file we wanted, but we couldn't get copies of the land gazetteer under some act, and I forget what that is, but looking at the file. Alan Gordon, in the meantime, had been off to leave copies to the legal department, and they had no objections whatsoever to having copies because, as far as they were concerned, it wasn't copyrighted because we weren't using them for commercial purposes. We were using them for reference purposes. This was pointed out to the legal department, and to this day we've never had a copy. I'm progressing through now with the Freedom of Information Act. The time is up. I should take it to the next stage and go to the commissioners, and then the next stage, and next stage, and next stage, wherever I finish up. But to me, to me, it is a pointless waste of time. And I'm not particularly vindictive, but I think a clean eye looking at the problem would see that something's adrift here. We're actually wasting public money. It's not because I want something for nothing, it's because what I've done I consider is right. Unless you turn around and say, well, you haven't done this right, Tom, you've done something totally wrong here.
But I can't look in the detail. For me, the FOI is simple. Unless it's one of the exclusions,
Yeah.
then there's one for the exclusion. Well, look at this one.
Yeah.
It's simple. What we were doing and why we were doing it. Now, some of it is clearly information.
Yeah.
But some of it will be about how to see people and manage it. Is one we take as being the quality of the thing. Unnecessary delays. If you're happy, unnecessary delays, inadequate information about why the thing is occurring, and the third one is that I'm failure to keep things informed of the progress of your whole request. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of this list of exhaustion itself,
Yeah.
you've now made 2 applications and come out with the same thing. Presumably, we're now looking at all the information through the FOI, you get through the FOI.
To go to appeal.
And
And there's no time limit. There's no time limit on appeals for certificate of lawfulness. But again, it's putting the authority, to my mind, to a lot of expense, and it's probably because of my reputation that this may have come about.
yes, I would hope that's
And so would I. Because normally these applications are considered in the planning department, but if you study the correspondence, this one for some reason went to the legal department.
I think most of it. I've checked it. From
Yeah.
my understanding of this, in the legal.
They signed off on the legal.
With reference to the plan.
Yeah.
I'll check the legal.
So now we're waiting for enforcement action because we're using it for a purpose which isn't B1. So we go on. But it does suggest to me that something's seriously wrong when one of your own people tries to persuade the ward member for not attending the meeting.
Yeah, yes, I need to go back.
There must be some history or reasoning to cause that. And again, I've sat on that for some time now. I didn't want another full-on confrontation, but I'm being channeled down to a route where I'm left a little option.
Right, so I'll look at these 4 things, which is unreasonable delay in the meeting, which is really in the information function.
Yeah.
Because it's for them to say, this doesn't
Yeah.
But
I realise the first inquiry, the first stage is an in-house inquiry before you actually move outside.
yeah, there's some of it I can't do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this guy can give us some
Mm.
which you are entitled to know.
Mm.
And we can't, the penalties have to be
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll tell you the time and the department. I'll have a look at my next point was inadequate information for
Yeah.
what is
It's like pulling teeth.
so
But
they're entitled to an explanation and they're entitled to have that explanation given to them in the situation where you can question if we are disagreeing. So that's the second. The third bit was inadequate information on the reasons for the business. You haven't been particular information you wanted. You haven't been told some of it was did not match what you wanted. And the fourth one is why did you decide on the 16th? You can't release it or you can release it when it was released. Well, it sounds torturous, but that's to me.
yeah. The one I mentioned in the fifth one is the fact that Beryl tried to persuade the board member not to attend the meeting. It suggests that there's something wrong with the policy or something, because it shouldn't take 3/4 of an hour to say whatever, particularly when I'm paying. I've had to go through a lawyer to get to see the damn files, and then I keep them in reception for 3/4 of an hour. Plus the fact, if you look at your side, with me writing and you responding, the lawyer writing and you responding, you're in a fair wedge yourselves, which you could spend positively instead of negatively, if I'm right, that is.
Someone should take that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could take I've applied some of our rules to get something to you by the 19th.
That's why I emailed. I mean, I wasn't ready for a complaint yet, because it means me sitting down for a long time and painstakingly going through the documents, which is a new schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you're happy that I will regard this meeting as the basis for my looking at this whole thing.
Yeah.
Which we will label as complaint.
Yeah.
But that's what I will do. If you're happy that these are the 5 things I'm looking at, then I would go and do taking it your own out in the face.
Yeah. Just read through the points again.
Yeah. Unreasonable delay in releasing information. Inadequate information and why the information is not released. Inadequate information and reasons for the delay. Inadequate information and why the information could not be released. And then Beryl tried to describe the movement and not to tell you.
What about the fact that the application went in as a B2 and the authority splits it to B1 on 2 occasions, and on the second occasion it was split to a legal exec, trainee legal exec, when the matter was controversial anyway?
I'm just wondering, I'll look at this, but I'm just wondering whether that is more a matter for people on the particular determination, rather than at the same time procedures that follow.
Right.
That's what I think. What I can't do is conduct an appeal
yeah.
What I can do is whether our working relationship with you is really good and to establish the and that's why I'm understanding.
Right.
If all of these things prove to be then we have to understand the next option in our working relationship.
Yeah.
So it's separating out the way you can treat it in our working relationship, as opposed to you've got the one and you've got the result you didn't want.
Which is an appeal job.
Which is incredible. And it may be
Right. Yeah. Right. I'm not bothered with time and stuff. No. Yeah. 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 It's the fact that there must have been 40 odd questions asked, to which only a couple have been answered. I kept methodically asking questions, and now I've had a refusal because I've asked the question before, but I never got answered the question in the first place, hence I asked it again. The use of digital cameras, which was my question 17 or 18, was answered. I asked at what meeting, to supply details, it was agreed by the party that digital cameras should not be used in the legal department. And after some time it came back and there wasn't a resolution and there was a mistake. Digital cameras can be used. So we could have photographed what we use on the day and saved all this nonsense. Then I asked, please answer question 16, who issued the instruction to ban the use of digital cameras, which I've never replied to, because it put somebody on the spot. Because somebody said, we can't use digital cameras, or tell them we can't use digital cameras. Hence, all this has come out of it now. Because had we been allowed to use the camera, 30 pictures later, we'd have gone away in 15 minutes, job done. Yes, we'd have come back and said, why do our copies vary? Which we're asking anyway, but it's just such a long, drawn-out procedure to get those pieces of paper, and it just seems to be madness. Yeah. 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 It takes me so while. You won't become that very responsible by the 19th, I don't think. There is so much. Yeah. And I'm sorry that you're burdened with the work, to be honest. On a side issue, it's a long time ago. What I did in the Midlands before I came back to Devon, I went into the factory as an analyst, systems analyst, and analysed where the problems were, and got rid of the people and put people in to make it work. I've never felt so good in the ear, to be honest. But I suppose local government is local government. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because we just fired them if they were not right. It would probably be impossible. Well, we'll have to go through. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the reality. Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's about it then, Ron. Yes, Ron, thank you. Yeah. That's what we're going to look at. Right. All right. Yeah. All right, then. Got it from me?
Yep,
Thank you very much.
happy with that?
Yes, and thank you for the tea. Thank you. I shall enjoy the rest of the day out in the sun now.
I won't be hanging out until 10 o'clock.
Oh, really? Oh, fabulous. Thank you, Doc. Bye-bye.